Guess who's back? Back again. Hey, been a while. I promise I didn't forget about the van. The problem is that Florida decided it was going to rain for approximately 900 years, so there was no working on the van for me. But it's finally calming down in the downpour department at least. Let's get back to work. So welcome to episode 4. And of course, we're diving headfirst into rust. I started by grinding down a lot of the screws that were sticking up, trying to make the floor as level as possible. I originally tried using this little grinding wheel on my drill, but it really did not work well for the large areas. It would let a lot of loose little metal shavings that would stick in my arms, which I really did not appreciate. You can actually see some of the metal pieces on the floor. I would recommend this type of wheel for smaller areas like around corners and bolts, but don't even try it on the large rusty spots. Of course, I kept trying to make it work because I had already spent money on it, and apparently once I buy a tool, I feel personally obligated to suffer through using it. I spent probably an hour just on this one spot. So this is when I finally started to stop wasting my time and go spend more money at Home Depot. After coming back with a new attachment for my grinder, I decided to go ahead and get the rest of the screws cut off since I had already had the blade on the grinder. Then I switched to this wheel, which I will post a picture on the screen. This thing worked beautifully. The only flaw is that it really didn't last long and it was a bit more expensive, but very much so worth it. So I made my way around the van, grinding down as much of the rust as I possibly could down to bare metal. Some of the rust spots were coming through the floor, so for those I actually cut them out and replaced it with new metal. I wasn't confident enough to use a welder. I've heard quite a lot of horror stories about people burning things down with them, so I decided to use pop rivets instead. I originally bought 1/4-inch rivets, but I made the mistake of pre-drilling holes into the metal before I put the metal down, and I made the holes too big. So my rivets wouldn't fasten correctly. So I had to order new rivets that would fit, and thankfully those worked. So if I was going to do this again, I would definitely glue the metal down first, then pre-drill my holes when it was secure, and then put the rivets in. The metal moves around too much otherwise, and it makes it really tricky to get the holes lined up. Unfortunately, my camera kept overheating, so I didn't get a lot of footage of this. Once this was done, I could finally paint. I hated painting before this, but man, after crawling around in rust dust and metal shavings, painting was fun. I used Hammerite metal primer and paint for this, and I could only get a tiny can that cost like $40. $40 for a can that looked like it would be for a dollhouse. But it mostly covered all of the bare metal. I didn't really care what it looked like since I would be covering it up with flooring anyway. I'm gonna be so real. I was not feeling working on the van today. I'm still not feeling it. It's a very rainy, dreary day, but it's not gonna get done if I keep putting it off, so. After I primed, I went through and put some fiberglass Bondo into all the holes that the screws had come out of. I would have painted first, but I was worried about rain, and the primer seemed to dry a lot faster. So that's why everything is a bit out of order. After a couple of weeks of nothing but rain, rain, and more rain, I finally could paint the rest of it. Just because I wanted a little extra protection, I spray painted a truck bed liner to the whole floor. I figured this would allow it to not get scratched as easily and also help protect it. I also put some of the rust cutter on the places that I couldn't grind down to bare metal, like the stair ledge on the side. And after weeks of fighting with the rain just to get this floor finished, it's actually kind of funny what it made me realize. It's so crazy to me how much my perspective has changed since I was a kid. When I was a kid, rain was my favorite kind of weather. I'd hear it start and immediately want to go outside. I'd walk through it, jump in puddles, and just enjoy it. I never thought about what the rain was stopping me from doing. Now, when it rains, my first thought is usually, great, I don't get to work on the van today. I can't mow the lawn. I can't work on a project. I can't check something off of my to-do list. And somewhere along the way, I think I started measuring days by how productive they were instead of how present I was. And maybe there's something we lose as we grow up. Rain doesn't ask permission to slow everything down. It just does. And while I'm sitting here wishing it would stop, everything outside is doing exactly what it needs to do. The grass is growing, the earth is recovering. Nature doesn't fight the rain, it adapts to it. Maybe we should learn to do the same. Maybe not every day is supposed to be productive. Maybe some days are just supposed to make us slow down, look around, and remember that we're actually living our lives, not just constantly preparing for the next thing. Because when you spend so much time thinking about what you need to do next, it's really easy to forget to appreciate where you are right now. So I guess today I'm trying to look at the rain a little differently. Maybe it isn't ruining our day. Maybe it's just reminding us to be in it. If you made it this far into the video, thank you for being here and for supporting me through this little journey. I hope your days are full, not just of things to accomplish, but of little moments worth remembering. And the next time it rains, I hope you can take a moment to slow down and enjoy it, even if it means putting off the things you had planned. Because sometimes being forced to slow down isn't a setback. Sometimes it's exactly what we needed.